Well, when we look at how this spring has gone so far, overall our coaching staff's been very pleased. We've made progress. There's no doubt about that. The thing that we really see is really everyday training. Our performance, the attention to details on both sides of the ball, but in particular some of our attacking movement and being sharper because of the way we've structured the spring. We're starting to see that now in these few games that we have played, but there's no question that what we see in training is showing that the hard work they put in with our strength and conditioning, which we've been going at it very hard on making sure we're getting quicker and faster and stronger with each of our players. And Tom Morris has done a phenomenal job getting us better in that area. And on the field, there's no question we're getting stronger. So all in all, we see it every day. Now in these matches now we need to put it to test against obviously someone besides ourselves. And the alumni event to kick off was a huge hit in the sense of getting some of our past stars back here to Indiana. We love to have them around our players when we can. They can learn from them, hear from them, see them play, and nothing's like learning by playing. And there were some recent pros that were out there that are still very fit who gave our current group a really good test. And there were some championship players for the alumni, and to rub against them and to talk to them is important. And so that was a good match. We ended up being 4-1. The alums faded a little bit, but we felt we got a good measuring stick out of the gate. And then our last two games, the first being Louisville, who returns a very strong team, and they knew how to win last year. And obviously, when we're losing two players on the road, we just went up that day. So we'll see how they can recover from traveling the day of a game, which we do on several games. I thought we did pretty well. We hadn't done much big numbers situations, so to see how our shape was pretty good considering we hadn't worked on that much. We tested Louisville. They bent but they didn't crack, and we gave up a counter to lose that game 1-0. But walking away, we feel like we did make some strides. However, there were some areas that we need to continue to improve. We then headed into our next game against Evansville. Evansville was a tough game in the fall, 1-0 here in Bloomington, and I thought our team, after a little bit of a slow start, we had a symposium session that morning for 2 hours, so it was really a full training day and then a game that night. So it might have been partly because of the fatigue to start, but I thought after that we really took it to Evansville, and they weren't able to create much, and were able to win that game 5-2, and most of our team was able to make an appearance for significant minutes. So a lot of new faces, able to test some guys on the stage. Again, I felt like we did some better things offensively than we were able to do against Louisville. And again, testing some young players out is a big part of the spring, and then developing a winning culture. So all in all, we're pleased with where we are right now. We're obviously trying to put a picture together with new players that aren't here yet and how they'll fit in. But that's what the spring's all about. And we're really excited to see what we can do here in our final two matches. That game in Fort Wayne that Terry has put on with his staff is a neat game in the sense that we don't typically ever play in a baseball stadium. The field's going to be very tight, very short and very, very narrow. But Bobby and I felt last year's event was a good environment, a good test to get our players with an atmosphere. We want to create that so in the fall for our younger players, they're not nervous. They're expecting to be in those atmospheres, which we have at home or on the road. We're a big draw for every team when we go there. So that's a good thing. Seeing how we do in tight space, it's a good activity. We condition the game a little bit, and we don't try to take advantage of the size of the field, both of us. So it works well playing against Notre Dame, and they're always a quality side. And I thought it was a good game last year, exciting, and we'll see how we do again this year. But it's also a way for us to reach out and see a lot of people up in Fort Wayne. We've had a lot of great players from up in Fort Wayne, and it's a neat event besides a good game. It is. We look, I'm a big MLS supporter, being a past player in the league, and so I'm watching nonstop. and it's nice to see. We have quite a few young players. Most recently with Will and Rich, who are both starting for their team. And in a rookie season to start is very difficult. And for them to be starting, playing well, Will gets his first goal against Jay Nolly, of all people, former Hoosier, which that was a tough one. But Jay's doing great for Vancouver. We're very happy for him. But Will getting his first goal was a big relief. He's playing well. On top of our other stars, the former Hoosiers that are out there, there's 12 or 13 of them spread amongst the league, and a lot of them are having significant impacts on their team. And it's nice to be able to watch the games in the weekend and see our former players out there impacting our league.